Welcome to our short practice today. We'll move through a kind of twisty sequence. There's always space at home, as always, to kind of make this your own. Take breaths whenever you want to. Add bits and pieces in if you want to as well. But we'll start in something seated. So perhaps coming to cross-legged, or you could be kneeling. Again, if you want to grab yourself a prop here to sit on. And then taking a moment to come inwards towards your practice here. So maybe that's towards your breath. Or maybe you close down the eyes. Taking a few deep inhales and exhales. Maybe starting to take the exhale through the mouth here. So a deep breath in. And then exhale, a sigh. We'll take 3 more of those here together. So deep breath in. And exhale, a sigh. 2 more. Breath in. And then exhale, a sigh. Last one. Can you really expand into the ribs and the chest on the inhale. And then exhale to release the air back down. You could either return to your natural breath at this point, or take a moment to bring the focus even deeper towards the breath, finding that single point of entry of breath. So maybe that's through the nose, a slow, steady inhale through the nose, and a slow, steady exhale through the nose as well. Looking for a length of breath that feels comfortable for you here. So if it's okay for you to extend the breath, maybe it's a second or 2 longer than your natural breath, even inhale and even exhale. We'll take maybe 10 more of these slow, steady breaths here. Again, maybe there's that single point of focus for breath. Or you might take a moment here to check in with where you're at today. Meet yourself as we begin practice together. And from here, maybe dropping the chin down towards the chest, looking to lengthen around the back of the neck. We might slide or roll left ear around towards left shoulder. And maybe pausing on this first side. Seeing if we can always drop the shoulders down here. So if it feels like the shoulders are kind of crunching up towards the ears, is there any way you can kind of soften them down? And then when you're ready, we'll roll around to the opposite side. So chin drops down to center and then comes around to the right. And again, you might pause there, take a breath or 2. Bring yourself back through to center. And then when you're ready, taking the both hands up towards the sky here. Big stretch of the arms all the way wide. And then we take the hands to the lower back here. So you can either place your palms on the lower back, so your fingers are pointing down, or you could interlace your fingers, make a fist, and push the fist down towards your tailbone. Either way, we look for that sense of squeezing the shoulder blades together and opening slightly through the front of the body. If you want to, you might think about lifting the chest slightly here and tilting the head as well to the top corner of your room. Breath in and breath out. And then we find the opposite, tucking the chin under, rounding the spine forward, hands might find the edges of the knees. And we'll meet in our tabletop. So coming down onto your hands and knees, if you are in cross-legged, maybe you roll over the legs here. We'll find the center of our mat roughly. Hands stacked underneath the shoulders and knees stacked underneath the hips. Taking a moment to move through some cat-cows together. So dropping the belly down here. See if you can sink the shoulders down as well. Looking forwards, both with the face, but also a little bit around the chest as well. So there's that slight pull forwards, and you're welcome to add a little bit of a bend into the elbows if that's helpful. We'll move into cat from here. So rounding upwards through the spine, through the shoulders, looking to either knees or to the navel and tailbone is up. And then inhale, when you drop the belly, look forward, tailbone to sky. Exhale, looking towards the knees, tailbone to up. And again, we'll take another 3 here. So inhale to find cow. Exhale to find cat. See if you can start to find the movement first in your hips here. So the pelvis is kind of tilting forwards and backwards to lead the movement. Maybe there's one more round. And then coming back again to the center. From here, you can either turn your fingers towards the edges of your mat and then start to take a gentle sway side to side here. Or you might start to turn the hands towards, or the fingers even towards the knees, and take a gentle sway forwards and backwards. So whether you are here or whether you are here, there's a little bit of movement, maybe a little bit of stretch into the back of the wrists. And then wherever you are, can you unravel back round to center again here, tucking the toes under, pushing the hips back towards the heels for a moment here. Palms pushing down into the mat as well. So take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then can we come back forward, lifting both feet off the mat and then taking a good wriggle around with the feet. So circles or rotations, figures of 8, either way, a bit of movement around through the ankles here. And we'll take the feet back down onto the mats, working a little bit with thread the needle. Left palm comes towards the center of your mat here. And then you start to take your right hand towards the sky, reaching up with that as well. And then from here, taking your right arm underneath your left armpit. On this first one, we're going to hover away from the mat. And then you take the hand back up towards the sky. We'll take that twice more. So threading right arm underneath and then opening yourself up. If you look to fingers, this time, as you start to thread your right arm underneath left armpit, maybe you come down onto the shoulder. Right ear comes down towards the ground. Thinking about taking the hips towards the back of the room slightly here. So even if that's a small kind of movement or the intention of movement backwards. When you're ready, can you push into the left palm, reach the right hand all the way up to the sky, and we're going to repeat that on the opposite side. So this time, right palm comes to the center of your mat, left hand opens, so twisting the torso towards the sky, and then when you thread the needle again, hovering on the first 2, inhale to take the hand back towards the sky, exhale to hover underneath. One more time, so inhale to take the hand up, exhale to come all the way down, and then can you come down onto the shoulder, holding here. Again, left ear might be down towards the ground. Breath in and breath out. And then can you push into your right palm, lift the left hand towards the sky, come back to your tabletop, and take 3 more rounds of cat-cows here. See if there's any more space to move around through the shoulders, to move around the back as well, or back body, lower back, upper back. And eventually we'll come back through to center, tucking the toes under, lifting the knees, take the hips to sky first, downward facing dog. Take that bit of time to pedal out through the feet here, bending one knee, bending the opposite knee. Hands are reaching forwards. And then maybe being high on the toes here for a moment. How does it feel to have the heels lifted high and sinking the heels back down towards the ground? We're looking forward and then we're tiptoeing the feet towards the top of the mat, forward fold. When you're there, feet could be together or take them wide. Either way, option to take hold of opposite elbow or for the hands to dangle down towards the ground again. And then maybe there's that gentle sway side to side. So rocking, kind of rolling the movement side to side here. And bend through the knees as much as you want to as you sway side to side as well. Releasing the hands back down to the ground, slow roll all the way up to standing. Can you reach the hands towards the sky, bring the palms together at the hearts. And we're going to take that all over again. So hands reach towards the sky, and then we come down to forward fold. Lifting halfway this time, palms might find shins, knees, roughly flat back. So we're looking forwards, we're pulling the chest slightly forwards as well here. And then we take the hands down towards the ground, just the right foot steps back. The right knee comes down, toe untucks, and take the hands towards the sky here. Low lunge or Anjaneyasana. We might take a round of breath here, thinking about that reach of the hands high. And then we bring the palms together at the hearts. Tailbone is ever so slightly tucked here, and then that option to lean forward, so sinking into the front knee. You could stay here, or you could take the twisted variation where our right elbow comes over towards the left knee. And then you twist the torso as well here. Maybe there's a gentle rock forwards and backwards, or you could find a bit of stillness here. So take one more breath. And then we'll unravel back through to center. Plant both palms either side of your front foot, step to downward facing dog. Same thing, opposite side. Right foot steps forwards, left knee drops down, and again take a moment to rise yourself up. So there's that rough kind of right angle shape with the front knee. Both hands find the sky here, looking for length from that knee that's down below all the way up towards the fingertips. And then the palms come back to your heart center, tucking the tailbone under slightly, and then maybe there's space to kind of lean forwards into the hips. And again, the option to add a twist in, so you could stay here taking a gentle pulse, or we can take this time left elbow towards the outside of your right knee, and then once it's there, you might think about twisting the torso around to the right as well. So a bit of push of the palms together here. And then again, stillness, or that gentle rock forwards and backwards. Great. From here, come back through to center. Place both palms either side of the front foot, back toe tucks, downward facing dog. And then again, take a moment to connect into your downward facing dog. We'll move through a couple of vinyasas here. From downward facing dog, can you roll forwards to your plank pose, whether you are on the toes or knees and untucking the toes. Can you bend through both elbows and lower down to the ground, scoop the chest up and forwards, cobra, elbows side to ribs. Toes tuck, downward facing. We'll take that twice more. So again, rolling forwards to your plank pose. You could be on knees, you could be on toes. Either way, can you lower to the ground? Lift to cobra, chest is open here. And then toes tuck, downward facing. One more round. Forwards to your plank pose. If you want to add your chaturanga shape in the air, add it in. Either way, flying down. Lift to open, and then toes tuck again, downward facing dog. When you're there, you might take a moment to pedal out through the feet. You could drop the knees down and take a few rounds of breath in your child's pose. Find where you need to be for a moment here. And then if you're ready to come back to movement, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Looking forwards, whether you step, hop or walk top of the mat, either way, finding your way to the top of the mat. Lifting halfway, thinking about length in the spine, folding back down, and then opening the hands towards the sky. Optional back bend this time, palms might come together, that's slightly lean back, opening and lifting through the chest, and then folding back down. Can we lift halfway, falling down to step the right foot back. This time the knee might stay lifted as we rise up. And take a moment to kind of spread your feet, maybe slightly wider. We're looking for that stability in the lower legs here, in the lower body. You might be high on the back toes, tailbone slightly tucked, and then you take the hands towards the sky. Think about that tuck of tailbone under again. And then maybe you sink slightly deeper into the front knee. Same twist, but up high. Can we bring the palms towards each other? This time, rather than going for the knee, we're twisting the torso round towards the left. Once you're there, you can keep your palms together or reach the hands wide. Think about that opening into the chest here. Palms active all the way through to your fingertips. Option to stay here or to take your front hand all the way up towards the sky. Back hand is reaching or resting down on the back thigh. Line of energy with the eyes might move towards the sky. Take a breath in and then exhale to come all the way down with the right palm. Right knee can stay lifted or you can place it down here. Left hand finds the sky. So reaching across the left fingertips, breath in. Breath out through your vinyasa, left hand comes down. Left foot finds the right, all the way down to your knee. Lift to open through the chest. Meeting downward facing dog. And from here, finding your way back to the top of the mat again. So maybe it's that step, hop or walk. If you are hopping, from hard to the toes, bend the knees, look forwards, and then use that spring of the legs to find top of the mat. Lifting halfway. Falling back down, again taking the hands towards the sky. Same opposite side, optional back bend, forward fold. Lifting halfway. Hands come down. This time the left foot steps back. Left knee is lifted as you rise up. And then again, take that moment to find the sense of stability in the feet here. Maybe there's that tuck under a tailbone, high on the back toe, sinking into the front knee. Hands might find the sky. Can you bring palms together here at the heart and then twisting towards the right this time, torso twist, hands can stay at your heart. Or again, you can reach the hands wide here, palms active, fingertips reaching. Option to stay here or to take your front hand up towards the sky, and again that back hand could be reaching and active, or you can rest it down here on the thigh. Can you still bend into that front knee forwards and then maybe looking towards the top fingers? Take a deep breath in, exhale, left hand finds the ground. Again, your left knee could be lifted or down here. Either way, can the right hand find the sky? So taking that twist again. Take a breath in and a breath out. Right hand comes down to the ground, step into your plank pose, so top of the back toe, lift the knees, step to your plank, through your vinyasa of shakes. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. When you're in your downward facing dog, look forward, hop step or walk top of the mat, forward fold. Lifting halfway, folding back down, opening towards the sky. Exhale, palms come to the hearts. And I'm going to turn to face you for our balancing section of this practice here. And we'll take our twisted knee balance up here. So you might take a moment to plant your feet firmly on the ground. Maybe palms are facing forwards. And then can you keep your focus forwards for a moment, lifting the toes up, placing them down, and then lifting the heels up. And you might repeat that one more time. And then planting the feet firmly here. Hands might find your hips. Center of gravity comes into the right foot, left toes on the opposite side. And then maybe you lift the left knee up in front of you here. Right hand can take hold of the left knee, so opposite hand to knee. If you're doing a toe variation, you can take hold of the toe, extend your leg out in front here. I'm going to teach from here today. Left hand might reach towards the sky. Finding that balance or drishti. So if you're looking for challenge, we're going to take our gaze of the eyes towards the back hand in a moment. Otherwise, keep the eyes facing forwards here. As we take the left hand back behind, we're twisting the torso back behind as well. So we're making this a twisted balance. So again, that challenge, take the hand or look towards the back hand. Can you lift, bring the left hand forward, take both hands to the sky, and then slowly place left foot down. You might pedal the feet side to side, but take a little bit of a walk out here, and we'll repeat the same on the opposite side. Center of gravity into left foot this time. Can you lift the right knee, and then left hand right knee, right hand finds the sky. Again, grab the toe, extend through the leg if that's where you're working today, and then you twist over to the right side. Maybe play with balance, maybe invite a little bit of wobble and challenge. And then inhale to take your right hand back to the sky, left hand joins, and then you place the foot down. Again, maybe you kind of walk side to side or move a little bit through the hips here. We're going to start to come back down to the ground and we'll spend a little bit more time working on our twist, but lower down today. So again, find yourself somewhere at the top of your mat. Maybe you intentionally lift the toes, place them down, lift the heels, place them down. That's wholeness together in practice. And then when you're ready, both hands reach towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Lifting halfway. Hands come down through a vinyasa here, or skip it if you want to. If you're joining, finding your plank pose, and then coming to the mat. Lift open through the chest, and then meeting downward facing dog. Last downward facing dog of our practice here. So maybe we'll take a few breaths here on the inhale, rising high to toes, and on the exhale, sinking to heels. Breath in and out as you flow. And then we're going to look forward and walk almost to the top of the mat here. So the feet come maybe a foot behind the hands. You might bring the toes towards each other. We're coming through a little bit of a squat balance here. So hands can stay down on the mat to support, and you can bend the knees as much as you need here. We're going to start to take the tailbone down or the hips down, finding that bit of balance. So my heels are lifted off the mat here. We'll take a few rounds of breath here. You might focus on bringing the center of gravity towards the back of the body and lifting slightly through the chest. If you want to challenge that balance, maybe the fingers lift away from the mat. Option to take one hand to opposite knee and the other hand to the opposite knee as well here. And again, you can stay here or tucking the chin down, so curling everything up. And again, maybe there's a few wobbles, totally fine. From here, we're going to come down onto our seat. So you can take those hands down to support you as we come down onto the sit bones, or you can kind of challenge your balance again, rock back into the heels, and then slowly sit down. Legs go out in front of you somewhere, and if you're not quite in the middle of your mat, you can always kind of shuffle forward here. We're going to come down onto our backs through our boat pose. So feet come up, roughly in line with that front point of the hips here. Both knees bent, heels grounded for a moment, hands might find the front of the knees. We think about squeezing the shoulder blades together and lifting through the chest here. And as we lift the chest, slight lean back to help find that counter or balance here to pivot from. One shin might join parallel to ground, opposite shin might join as well. You can stay holding or you can reach the palms wide. Take a breath in and a breath out. So the breath is still flowing, we're not holding breath here. And then super slowly coming down to the ground. Once you land, find any shape for a moment. And then we might invite the left knee into chest, giving it that big hug by interlacing the fingers around the front of the knee. Squeezing knee tightly into chest. And we'll take this into our twist today. So right hand, again, opposite hand onto left knee. Left hand could go up to the side in a T shape, or you could place it somewhere on the body here. As we bring the right knee across, seeing if we can keep both shoulders on the ground here, and that might mean the knee is slightly higher. If you know that you have a preferred twist and it's not this one, absolutely add that in. And then option to turn the head over to look towards the left hand here. Maybe find your kind of sweet spot in your twist. A breath in and a breath out. Thinking about breathing into the left side of the body here. You might take a few more. And then again, can we slowly unravel back through to center, sending your left leg long, and then bringing the right knee into chest, interlacing the hands around the front of the knee. So you could be squeezing this tight to chest, or you could be squeezing the knee tight towards the armpit here. Find what works for you. Left hand stays on the right knee. Right hand this time might come out in your T shape. And then you pull the right knee across the body. Again, keeping the shoulders down if you can here. So the backs of the shoulders on the mat. If you want to unravel or ravel tighter in your twist, you can stack knees. Left hand could go out in a T shape, or it could be rested on your torso. And then maybe the head turns over to the right. We'll take maybe again 3 rounds of breath on this side. See if we can breathe this time into that right rib, so all the way down. Excuse me, right side of the body here. And then again, can you unravel back through to center, perhaps sending both legs long on your mats. And we've got a minute of practice before we take a rest here. Add whatever you would like to add in here. Maybe it's a hug of both knees to chest and a rock and roll around on your mats. If you know there's something else that you love here in your practice, feel free to add that in. Happy babies, another twist. If you enjoy that sense of having the legs up in the air here and you want a little bit more height, you might take a block somewhere underneath the back of your hips and then take the legs towards the sky, let them hang out. Whatever you enjoy here in your practice. So take some time here for you. And then in the next 10 or so rounds of breath, we'll start to set up for our final resting pose of our practice here. So if you are at home and you have lots of props around you, or blankets and cozy things, then you're welcome to kind of make this final resting pose, whatever feels comfortable for you here. So a suggestion might be that you take a bolster underneath the back of your knees. So you've got that bit of support around the back of the knees. You could also use the bolster around your spine, so along the back. Or find anything else that feels comfortable here. If lying on your back isn't working for you today, you could be seated as well. And I'm going to take myself into a seat today. So taking a minute to find something that feels as comfortable as you can be in your final resting pose today. When you're there, maybe there's a few kind of wriggles around with shoulders, whatever you need. Once you've found where you want to be for your rest, maybe you close down the eyes, or you might find a soft focus with the eyes here. Maybe there's a gentle awareness that stays with the flow of your breath. Just for that next couple of minutes here, in rest there are no expectations. If your mind is feeling quite busy today, maybe that's okay. We can acknowledge that there are lots of thoughts coming up here, and you might kind of let them gently fade or play out in your mind. Or if you're looking for focus, maybe you can bring your awareness towards either your body or the sounds that you can hear around you in your space. Maybe inviting your shoulders to soften here, or your face to soften, the jaw, all those muscles around the cheeks, the eyes. Perhaps inviting the whole front of your body here to soften slightly, in the back of your body to sink into the ground. the palms soften slightly here and rest down towards the ground. And you're very welcome to stay lying down on your mat. If you would like to start to bring yourself to seat to close your practice here and exploring some gentle wriggles, fingers and toes, and in your own time expanding the movement, so stretches, rolls of the shoulders. Again, in the next maybe 10 rounds of breath here, you might roll to one side and then bring yourself through to a seat. But if you're staying low, maybe recommit to kind of finding something restful down on the ground. And if you are coming through to a seat as well, you might grab yourself a block or something to sit on at home. Hands might rest somewhere on the knees, or maybe you add yourself in a favorite mudra with the hands. Finding that last moment of practice here, and maybe we observe ourselves in that practice, so observing your sensations in the body, your thoughts. You might take a moment here to send yourself kindness and gratitude for taking the time to be with your practice. And that invitation is to join as we take 3 rounds of breath together, just like we started today. So that deeper breath in and then exhale might be through the mouth. When you're ready, breath in together and then exhale a sigh. So deep breath in. And again, exhale a sigh. Taking one more. When you're ready to close, bringing the palms together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Taking that gentle bow to self and to each other. We'll close our practice there for today. Please do reach out if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope you have a lovely day.